And you got to remember, Trump went on a continuous attack on the elections as a whole, and he
Yes.
kept saying for like 2-3 weeks, consistently, as his major voice and message was, they are rigged.
Yes.
These elections are rigged. He was saying
Right.
they are already rigged.
Right.
And then of course the experts were coming out and saying it's virtually impossible to rig a U.S. election. But
Right.
but I mean, of course here in the Philippines, we're used to a lot of
Right.
a fraud and uncertainties about elections. So for us to understand, how important is a message of Donald Trump saying that the U.S. elections are rigged, and as you said, do you think that equates to the 49 or almost 50%
Yes.
who doubt that it's going to be credible?
This is a big problem. I mean, there were certain interviews by media whereby they asked Trump supporters, what do you think if Trump loses? There was immediately rage in response to that. And you know that a lot of Trump supporters are extremely passionate about him, or at least passionately against Hillary Clinton. I mean, they call Hillary Clinton crooked Hillary.
Yep.
So the levels of emotion is very high. The levels of mutual anger and animosity is very high. I think this is unprecedented in U.S. history. And as far as Donald Trump campaign is concerned, when he says my campaign is against the establishment, it seems it's not only the political establishment, it's also the institutions of democracy. He's even casting doubt on the credibility of FBI, Justice Department, and now even the electoral system. And it seems that rhetoric is resonating. I mean, that's why some sort of post-election slight mayhem is, for the very first time, I think, in U.S. history, modern history, not out of question.
How dangerous is that? How dangerous is that you have one candidate not just doubting, but sounds so sure that it is such a fraudulent scenario. So much so that you're already seeing the media that sides with the Republicans, normally the Fox News, they were already reporting over the weekend initial reports of, as they say, rampant fraud, was quote unquote, and it's become a media battle as well. CNN is going against him and calling them out for irresponsible journalism. I mean, how dangerous is this scenario right now?
I mean, it's a reflection of how polarized the American society is at right now. And I really doubt that these elections will end that polarization, because you have a figure like Donald Trump who doesn't want to have a graceful exit, if ever he loses. By the way, this is still too close to call. There's still a possibility that Donald Trump may still pull off a victory. Although the electoral college map really looks difficult for him in certain swing states. So now you have a situation whereby Donald Trump, perhaps even in event of defeat, will not give a concession speech. Now, this is a very scandalous thing, because even the Republican establishment has been very critical of this. And that's why during the presidential debates, on multiple occasions, he was asked, will you accept defeat? And he says, let's leave it as a suspense. And that raised eyebrows, even among Republican stalwarts. So this is a situation that has never been faced by America in its modern contemporary history. That is why there's a great cloud of uncertainty on how the Americans will come together after this race. And the thing is this, even if Hillary Clinton pulls off a victory, let's say even if it's going to be a little bit more convincing than people thought, because the turnout will be better among African Americans and minorities, the fact of the matter is that the lower house, the Congress, will be dominated by Republicans. And if you look at the surveys, the Senate could go either way. So we may see years of political paralysis in the United States. And of course, that means the Supreme Court in the United States could be the ultimate arbiter. That is why expect very feisty showdown over the nomination of the new Supreme Court justices. So that's why the United States, I doubt, will be able to heal and come together after these elections,
regardless of who wins.
And this is what's strange. It seems our former colonial master is now learning from our democratic practices when it comes, because in the Philippines, no one loses in elections. Either you win or you were cheated.
Protest.
You were cheated, right? So we may see a similar dynamic or discourse emerging in the United States. And as I said, you have a completely polarized society and polarized also media establishment, whereby you have Fox News and CNN and NBC and CNBC completely on different side of this political discourse.
We're already hearing as well some pundits saying and calling this, interestingly, as the new modern civil war. As in, there's so much separation between the Democrats and how the Republicans now are coming out. And they were saying that Trump is basically giving them a voice now. Someone just saying it out loud. There are still a lot of racist white Americans who really want to be ultra-conservative. And so regardless of who wins, what will this mean to the unity of the United States?
I think this is where the argument comes in the picture that Trump may be gone from, maybe he'll be gone from the political landscape, but Trumpism.
Yes.
The kind of populist demagoguery he brings to the picture is not going to go away.
Okay.
For instance, certain political scientists recently had a survey whereby they ask about certain policies, like, are you okay with categorical ban on certain ethnic groups, let's say Muslims? Essentially, they were asking them the policies of ultra-conservative new fascist parties in Europe, including the UKIP, for instance. And guess what? A significant majority of people who identify with, for instance, the Republican Party, we're fine with some of these policies. That means that even if Trump is out of the political picture, another kind of demagogue can later on come in and tap into this kind of resentment towards the others, towards the minorities, and also resentment towards globalization. I think what we are witnessing right now is deglobalization. That is why even Hillary Clinton is known as a cosmopolitan liberal, had to shift gear on the Trans-Pacific Partnership deal, which is the centerpiece of the Obama administration's economic pivot to Asia. And I doubt that Hillary Clinton can immediately switch gears again and push for a TPP deal. So Trump could be gone after these elections, although he could still pull off a surprise victory.
But the momentum could still be there.
That demagoguery, that resentment is going to stay there for a long, long time. And that is why the United States will have to do some fundamental soul searching about how it will breach these very deep fault lines within its society.